What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. Today I've got a deck profile for you guys featuring Buster Blader, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with our monsters first. We run 3 copies of Buster Blader. He is the centerpiece of this deck, so I like running him at 3. I see a lot of builds that run him at 2 or run the new Buster Blader at 2. I'll get more on the new Buster Blader later, but I like running this guy at 3 because all of your main plays stem from going from the next card I'm going to mention into this. So I always want to make sure that this is either in my hand or my graveyard so I can make sure to go for my plays. Plus the fact that he gains 500 extra attack points for every dragon that's on the field or in my opponent's graveyard, on my opponent's side of the field or in my opponent's graveyard. That's also really nice as well. So 3 of him. Next up, we have the main and the best card in the main deck, or probably just in the deck in general, and that is Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman.
Man's best friend.
Yep. Everybody wants a pet dragon. Anyway, so what this guy does is on normal summon, you can search for any Destruction Sword card from your deck and add it to your hand, and then he has one of 2 other abilities you can activate. You can either tribute him, send him from the field to the graveyard to special summon Buster Blader, or if you already control Buster Blader, you can toss a Destruction Sword card from your hand in order to special summon him from the field. He's a level 1 tuner, leads into a lot of really awesome level 8 synchro plays. So these 2 guys are pretty much the main ones that you always want to have. The reason why I don't run the new Buster Blader is because this guy does not special summon the new Buster Blader unless he's in the graveyard. He can search for him, but you can't put him on field. He's also, and then as far as the new Buster Blader, he just doesn't synergize very well with this, and one of the most important things being the fusion. You need Buster Blader to bring this thing out. Not a Buster Blader monster, Buster Blader. So you basically are searching for a card that you can do nothing with if you run the new Buster Blader. It looks cool though. Next up, we have another awesome monster in the form of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So this guy is awesome because you can equip this to a Buster Blader you control. It specifically has to be Buster Blader. But the neat thing is that when it's equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, which is huge in this game, with Pendulums being a thing, and, you know, the reliance on the extra deck. There are a couple decks out there, like Narcs and like Cosmos, who don't need the extra deck, but at the same time, this guy just kind of puts it in against those decks. So you run him at 3, and the other reason why is because he acts like a Dragunity Phalanx, where when he's equipped to a monster, you can special summon him from the spell trap zone in whatever position you want, which really helps out with your synchro plays. Really, really awesome. Next up, we have 2 copies of Wizard Buster Destruction Sword. So the thing that I really like about this guy is that he acts like a warrior returning alive for pretty much all of your Destruction Sword cards. So when he's equipped to a Buster Blader or to a monster, you send him from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, and you basically get back the Buster Whelp. You can get back, you know, any of the other ones too, but let's be honest, you're going to go for the Buster Whelp. And also, when he's equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot activate, you know, effects in the graveyard. So it pretty much just craps all over, like Burning Abyss and Dark World, because I heard Dark World, and Cosmo as well.
So, in fact, Graph is a summoning condition and does not activate, so Graph can still, you know, do shit.
Yeah, but he can't pop stuff. Cool. So yeah, so that's all the Destruction Buster Blader related stuff that I run. I don't run Machine just because I don't really feel like Machine offers very much to the deck. Yeah, it beats for 16, it's a level 4, so you can go for like rank 4 Xyz plays, but one, this deck doesn't do that very much, and its effect to stop face-up cards in the field, so, you know, it stops your pendulum effects, that's cool and everything, but maybe if that other effect that where you detach it and your monster gains 1,000, if that was like a quick effect, then I'd be like, okay, that justifies when I get one. But because it's not, I feel like this deck is better without it. I just want to make sure I can get to my Buster Blader Dragon Whelp combos as quick as I can. So none of him. Moving into support monsters, we have 3 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. I thought to myself one day, wow, I really wish I had a level 4 Buster Blader, and I was like, oh, Prisma. So,
problem solved.
Prisma's going to be pretty much good in any fusion-related deck that requires one specific material. You guys know what he does. He takes on the name of whatever. So basically, I can summon this guy, and I can toss the Buster Blade from my graveyard, which is good. Deck thinking is always good. And then I can equip him with any of the other Destruction Sword cards and, you know, have him get the effects and whatnot. I can go for level 5 synchro plays, which I'll get into later. So this guy is always a good choice. Next up, I run 2 copies of Maiden with Eyes of Blue. You guys know what this card does. I think this deck The reason why I added this is because I just felt like this deck needed another engine, just in case I could not get to my Buster Blader plays. And I thought Maiden's Eyes of Blue was a good choice next to doing Prisma plays. She's a level 1 tuner, which is great, and then it throws a Blue Eyes on field. I got Blue Eyes World Dragon specifically because I love this artwork. So, you know, I have these two just so, you know, I have some kind of backup play. She helps me stall until I can get to the plays I really want to do. And, you know, being able to drop a 3,000 beater is never a bad thing. And then next up, we have 2 Maxi. Once again, kind of a low monster count, but, you know, you just want to get to your Destruction Sword card plays like, you know, Welcome Buster Blader as fast as you can. And Maxi definitely helps that. It definitely makes me feel a lot better, you know, going second, even though I always want to go second with this deck as much as possible. Anyway, so that does it for the monster lineup. Let's go ahead and move into our spells. We start off by running 2 copies of Destruction Sword Fusion. Destruction Sword Fusion is an awesome support card. It is a quick play, and quick plays are always good. And basically this card works a lot like Super Poly, except you can actually respond to it. Because the Buster Blader Fusion requires Buster Blader and one other dragon, just any dragon, you can fuse using monsters on your side of the field, or you can fuse with your opponent's monster. It's retarded in the mirror match, if there ever is a mirror match. But, you know, just the way this deck is set up, the ability to fuse with your opponent's monsters, you know, to remove things is always a good thing. So, I only run 2 of this just because I can search it with the Wealth. I really don't feel like I really need to run in this set any more than 2. I've contemplated 3 at times, but, you know, maybe that's something for another day. After that, we've got 3 copies of E-Call, Search Out of Prismas. We've got 2 MST and the 1 Twin Twister for back row removal. We've got plenty of cards. Well, we have Buster Blader, and, you know, if we have a Buster Blader in our hand we want it in the graveyard, this is a great way in order to do that. And, you know, as far as, like, Pendulum decks and back row heavy decks, Twin Twister is always going to be the stupid. And then other support cards, we have 1 copy of Soul Charge. This deck's plays are really good, but it can be kind of flimsy at times. It's very susceptible to back row, so we need a backup, and that backup is Soul Charge. So if our opponent wipes 4, we can just be like, okay, everything comes back. We have 1 copy of Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer, because, well, like I said, Buster Blader, Welt plays. If we have the Welt, we want to make sure to get the Buster Blader in hand. If for some reason you want the Buster Blader back from the graveyard, you can do that too. Foolish Burial, send the Buster Blader, or you can use it to send Blue Eyes just to thin out your deck. You just want to make sure just to combo as well. Anyway, we have 1 copy of Raigeki as well, you know, just to clear stuff off the board, and that does it for the spells. Moving into the traps, we have 3 copies of Call the Haunted. Buster Blader is our main priority, and this is one of the easiest ways to get him out. Falling back on Prisma Call the Haunted is still a good thing. It's a little bit slower, but it's really the only other way to get out Buster Blader, you know, at the immediate point in time. Whenever some kind of card, preferably a spell, comes along that basically says Special Summon Buster Blader from the graveyard, you know, we'll be good to go. But until that time happens, this is pretty much all we got.
What about Miracle Restoring?
You know what, you bring up a good point, but unfortunately they didn't develop any support that really synergizes with the spell counter magicians, more specifically Skilled White. Thank you. 1 copy of DNA Surgery, because, you know, once again, you're not always going to have the combos that you can do from Buster Dragon. Buster Dragon acts like a DNA Surgery, but in the event that you don't have that, you want something else to fall back on, we have DNA Surgery. It allows the Buster Blader Fusion to, you know, still do his crazy negation stuff. And, you know, allow you to fuse with your opponent's monsters and whatnot. Then we have Solemn Warning, Summon Deterrent, Baddies, Wins Games, and we have Bottomless. And that's all the traps that we have. And then the last cards that we run are 2 Upstart Goblin. You know, just for consistency, you know, gotta get to those plays. And that does it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and move into our extra deck. We're going to start with the big boss daddy monster himself in the form of Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. I actually run this guy too, but I currently only have 1. You know, for the sake of this deck profile, I just wanted to go ahead and get it out to you guys. So, what this guy does, unfortunately he cannot attack directly, but that's not such a bad thing when you consider the rest of his effects. He gains 1,000 extra attack points for every dragon that is on the field. He also negates the effects of dragons anywhere, I believe. I actually can't remember if they changed that. But he switches them all to defense mode, and he also has piercing, which is really, really nice, because it's like, darn, you can't directly attack, but when you can just pierce through crap and deal like crap loads of damage that way, you know, it's pretty good. And, you know, he requires one Buster Blader and, you know, any dragon, so combos really well with DNA Surgery, the Synchro I'm about to get to, and of course it makes the Destruction Sword Fusion an awesome card. So 2 of this guy, once I actually get the second one. Then we have the 110 in the form of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. So this guy, we have a lot of level 1 tuners, and we have a lot of level 8 synchros. And it just so happens that the main level 8 synchro in this deck is a Dark. And this guy requires 1 tuner and 1 or more, 1 non-Dark Dragon tuner synchro thing. So what this guy does is you can send 1 monster from your field to the graveyard in order to special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend monster from your graveyard, so you're usually going to use him to get Abyss. Plus, whenever he punches over things and does damage, you can special summon 2 tuners. I think it's 1 from the deck and 1 from the graveyard.
Sure.
So yeah, and beats for 35, awesome. Then we have the next MVP monster next to Buster Dragon. We have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This guy is the stupid. So he requires 1 tuner and 1 non-Dark Dragon Synchro tuner thing, the same way this guy does. It just so happens that Buster Dragon is an 8 and he's Dark. Big coincidence. So what this guy does is during either player's turn, he can target 1 face-up card on the field and negate it. It is a quick effect. So Raigeki, negate it. Wavering Eyes, negate it. So on and so forth. It's not just for monster effects, which makes him stupid. And then just like him, whenever he deals damage, you can special summon a tuner from your graveyard to go for more crazy plays. So you special summon the tuner, go straight for him. You know, send one of your monsters or whatever in order to bring him back. Faders on field.
The fact that he can stop stuff mid-chain is really cool. So
That too.
that's why I like it.
We also have 1 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon as our another 9. I run the Blue Eyes, I run the Maiden. Why not run him? He gives me some protection for my Dragon type monsters, and if he stays on the field long enough with that, 3,000 Boutte, then he gets me a free Blue Eyes, which is more beaters are always free.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Would you run White Spirit Dragon with that?
I actually thought about it, and for a time I actually did. I'm still on the fence about whether I would do that or not.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name again?
White Spirit Dragon?
White Spirit Dragon.
Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. Excuse me.
The thing about Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, I like the fact that it stops graveyard.
Yes.
It stops graveyard effects. It prevents my opponent from pendulum summoning, and it can get this. But
Pendulum summoning
multiple monsters. Yeah. And it can get this, which I guess is all nice. If I had the space for it, I would run it, but I can pretty much run without it.
Okay.
Next up, we have the main extra deck monster that you will always go into. We have Buster Dragon. Buster Dragon is amazing. It does so many things for this deck. It brings the deck full circle. So what this guy does is if you do... Exactly. Okay, in all fairness, like, just because you can go for whatever that dragon's name is doesn't mean you always necessarily should. This one you always go for. This is mandatory. I know that they actually tried to push this deck, I guess, more as fusion-based, but really all your best plays stem from this guy. If I have the Buster Whelp and Buster Blader or whatever, I'm always going to go search for the tuner that acts like Phalanx, because all my great plays going from this to Abyss to Bane come from this guy, so you always want him. Anyway, so what else he does is if you do not control a Buster Blader monster, then you can special summon Buster Blader from your graveyard, which is actually really, really important. He set up the control that this guy allows. He also acts like DNA Surgery in this deck the way you want it to by turning everything your opponent controls into Dragon. It sets up the control for the fusion as well. On top of that, he has a Spell Speed 2 effect during your opponent's turn that says that you can target 1 Buster Blader monster that you control and equip it with a Destruction Sword card from your graveyard. So you get the one that negates graveyard effects, you get the one that negates extra deck effects, most likely. And just, you can just interrupt your stuff that your opponent does. Really handy thing to do with him is during the end phase, you use him to go and get the Phalanx guy, so you're already set up for next turn. You don't have to waste your normal summon to do the synchro play. So, this guy, great. Other generic synchros, we have Stardust Dragon, we have Scarite, because Scarite is awesome. And then for 5s, we have Samsara. Just for those of you who don't know what Samsara does, it's basically a monster reborn from either you or your opponent's graveyard when he dies by battle and card effects. We have Armades, because Armades is just that level 5 synchro. And then we have Chamba Rider. Chamba Rider puts on damage. Into Xyz, we've got Cowboy, Game Stealer. This Dweller will always be relevant, for now, anyway, until the game just becomes so pendulum-based that he becomes irrelevant. Then we have Castell, who is just generic removal. So that actually does it for the entire deck. So guys, this was my Buster Blader deck. Let me know what you guys think. I would really love to hear your opinions. And I'll be back at you later. with future videos. This is Parkerland, out.